Hey guys, what's going on? This is Master Cloud, and I am back for another cast of The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2, The Rise of the Witch King. Today's matchup is going to be a 2 versus 2. Spawning on the far left-hand side is going to be TheKing, spawning as men. His partner just to his east is going to be RedMad, who is going to be spawning as Angmar. Now their opponents across the way is going to be, as goblins, TheChain. And finally, his partner, spawning in the very east-hand side of the map, is going to be Ryusatsu, who immediately pumps out alerts, and I believe Wormtongue will be on the way, or has already been on the way. Actually, I don't see Wormtongue yet, but we'll probably see him shortly. This is a 4K, there he is, as he does come up there. Now, this is a 4K game. That, of course, means that the game, you immediately start off the game with 4,000 resources, allowing you to pump out a few heroes. Angmar here going for Hwaldir and Morgomir, and then on the top side, of course, out of men, we're likely to see both Aragorn and Boromir, one of the best 4K starts in the game, at least in my opinion. Now the goblins here, I presume, went for Azog and for the Goblin King. Yes, they did, and they have already managed to slay the Fire Drake, so they will begin working down that Fire Drake lair. On the south side, this Fire Drake remains untouched. Meanwhile, Lurt slowly working down that cave troll. Wormtongue idly standing by, sort of watching him finish off that troll. We already have some wildmen out here for Isengard as well, as it looks like he's actually throwing down several clan steadings here to immediately start pumping out a ton of those wildmen.
I am the Fist of Angmar.
Is going to be going for some early resource steals, possibly some run buys with those wildmen. Now he is going to be able to capture that signal fire here in the center. The team on the right looking to be doing a nice job so far, able to also capture that outpost up to the top, granting them those extra resources. Azog does grab an additional level, did take a lot of damage to that troll, but did manage to at least defeat it. On the lower right hand side, Angmar deciding to engage a Fire Drake. A little bit of a mistake there. He is going to turn around, loses a couple of his pikemen, will get chased out slightly, turns around again to re-engage the Fire Drake, and then thinks better of it, and then thinks better of it again, and decides to go back up. This is definitely not the right choice, though. These pikemen cannot deal with this Fire Drake by themselves. Actually, they can. I spoke a little too soon. The Fire Drake getting a little caught there, and all of a sudden, actually, still a bad mistake, because they do burn there at the last second and lose quite a few of those spearmen. A little bit of a mistake there. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking, charging up there with those spearmen. At least he does manage to capture this outpost, so he will be able to recoup some of those losses here rather quickly, assuming he can hold that for a couple of cycles. Meanwhile, on the upper hand side, Aragorn and Boromir pushing forward. Several goblins already have been pumped out by TheChain. He does have those bats now spawning, which gives him an incredible amount of vision over the field. That is a wonderful ability to have, especially being in the front here. So he is very lucky to have spawned as goblins. I'm not sure, guys, if this was a random game or if they did choose their races. I would assume random, but you just never know with some of these games that are submitted. Now, this, I should mention, this is on the 2.01 patch. I know some of you guys do like to see that 2.02, but I do have a couple of games yet on the 2.01, and I do like to watch those games because this is the patch that I used to play on the most, and it's the one I am most familiar with. Aragorn here using that ability, but he is going to get poisoned, and as he tries to escape, will get killed off. Goblins do steal those resources and manage to get 450 out of that kill. Azog now pushing forward, scaring away Boromir. That horn will freeze the troops, but Azog can easily chase him down, or continue through that horn, continue the chase. Isengard moving through on the bottom side. Looks like he is going to be approaching Angmar soon. Angmar's troops out towards the center. Hwaldir almost to level 4. One more kill should put him there. Lurt's now at level 4 as well. Wormtongue at 3. Along the top-hand side, Azog and the Goblins move forward. This Goblin army looking to be incredibly powerful. Where are the additional troops from men? Finally, they are out. Boromir has retreated and rallied several of them together. We do have Rangers out on the field, skipping that first class of archers and going straight to the Rangers. I like this move by men. It took him a little bit longer to get those troops out on the field, but they are going to be that much better, and those resources are going to be that much more well spent. Those archers now doing terrible, terrible damage in the back. Additional Throwmasters coming out. Isengard pushing forward here has a ton of these lit torchmen, but I think there's just too much here, especially with the fortress. Hwaldir is stunned, temporarily threw him in defensive mode, but on the top side, the Goblins now moving forward. Azog grabbing an additional level, going up to 5. The Goblin King, once of course he gets to level 10, he's going to be basically unstoppable with that Call from the Deep, a wonderful, incredibly powerful ability that I would love to see him reach in this game if it goes that long. But the Goblins now going to fall back as those Rangers move to the north-hand side. But just as they return to the north, an additional attack from the south. Isengard returning with additional troops. Lurtz in the back continuing to take pot shots basically for free at some of those spearmen and axe throwers. They just do not have the range that Lurtz does. He's going to lose an additional mine. Lost several resources there before he canceled it. So a little late there on the cancel, but not bad. Boromir returning to the front lines, does have that horn ability if he chooses to use it. This would be a good time. Sheathes his sword and blows the horn. However, Lurtz has spotted him and has begun to focus him down. Arrow drop comes in, taking out an incredible amount of those wildmen of Dunlin there. The archers still picking off more from the back as they are stunned. An additional archers now showing up. Do we have fire on the way? The answer is soon, as he looks like he is going to begin to research some of those, or research that level 3 shortly. Actually has not decided to do that yet, and it's incredibly low on funds, so might hold off on that for the time being. But of course those fire arrows, very powerful, especially on those Rangers. For now he's just going to continue to pump out troops. Has he had the chance to get Aragorn back out in the field? That's the real question. Actually our red player here, TheKing, going for stables now as well. He's going to decide to upgrade the stables instead of going for that fire arrow upgrade. Looks like he has actually he's decided to go for both here, so kind of splitting his resources a little thin. Would have liked to see him get Aragorn back on the field unless he's in this mix somewhere. But as far as I can tell, I don't see him. I do hear Karth emerging out on the field, as you can hear his battle cry as he enters the field. Of course, he's only going to be level 1 at this time, but Karth, an incredibly powerful hero, can take down some of the strongest heroes in the game once he gets to level 7, or is it 8? The answer is I'm not sure because I can't find him at this exact second. But it looks like Angmar's going to be moving to the south side here. There's Karth. Finally, I can find him, and it is going to be level 8. The Whisper of Death, an incredibly powerful power. However, Lurtz there taking out Hwaldir, and with Hwaldir down, these troops are going to lose their bonus. Now, Isengard does not have the additional backup at this time to maintain this position, but is going to put a slight stall on the push of Angmar there to the south. Meanwhile, to the north, men being surrounded here by some of these goblins. The archers on the high ground, that is where you want them. Aragorn is back out on the field. I guess he was out in that mix. Men doing an excellent job here with resources this game. Sacrificing some of those that early lead, and a huge arrow drop comes down on a ton of those goblins, and men looking to be in an incredibly powerful position at this time with all those goblins down. Where is Azog? The answer is I do not know, or dead. The Goblin King does manage to escape there temporarily, but I think Azog did fall in that assault, as I don't see him on the field at this time. Now, we do have a beacon placed down by TheChain indicating that, hey, my base is under attack. Most of my troops have been decimated, and he's actually going to take this time to regroup with some of his additional goblin forces. Men now moving in from the backside. He has the archer support. Where are the horsemen? That is the question. It looks like they are a couple of troops moving across the field. Additional Gondor soldiers would like to see more archers. That is what it's going to do. And the fire arrow research has finally been completed. Those archers now being upgraded as well, and that's going to do an additional substantial amount of damage. Aragorn moving through, using that ability, also being on defensive mode when he fights these goblins. Smart play here by TheKing. Isengard moving up to try and help Wormtongue is going to get a backstab on Aragorn there, and I think he is caught too close in the battle. He is going to fall. Wormtongue grabbing a couple of levels and almost is up to that level 10. Boromir finally throws down the horn, but too little too late. Actually not really. With these archers in the back, you can just see how fast they take down some of these buildings. Those fire archers just deal insane amounts of damage. On the south side, Angmar moving forward as well. This is not looking good for the forces on the right-hand side here. Isengard and the goblins going to fall here. It looks like an additional mine going down. Those fire archers now moving in closer to that fortress. Are attacking the fortress. Instead should be attacking the goblins in front. The archers finally have been whittled down by the goblin archers here. Boromir is still in the thick of things with a decent amount of health. Will be able to hold on temporarily. On the south side, the mountain giant now focusing on some of those Angmar troops. These Uruk pits built kind of backwards here. A little bit of a mistake, I think, from Ryu Satsu. However, those troops are coming out and will be able to deal with this. The Creebane up as well. Karth taking a lot of damage from Lurtz. Throws down that Carnage ability, and Karsh will die. Lurtz grabs a level from that and continues fighting here. Now focusing on Hawaldir, dealing an incredible amount of damage, but Morgomir throws down his blade, and with that, Lurtz is going to die, and Lurtz has been turned into a white, at least temporarily, as he will begin to fight for the side of his enemies. Angmar's spell goes down to try and gain better control of this battle. However, the mountain giant still lives. That is dealing a lot of damage, and Morgomir deciding that he's seen enough of this battle and is going to fall back, at least for now. The goblins rebuilding on the top hand side. The archers still in position. Where is Boromir? Did he fall back or did he die? It looks like he might have died, but Aragorn now back out on the field. Oh, I'm sorry, Boromir actually in the front. A heal must have gone down, so Boromir is okay for now, and this top side is starting to look incredibly good for men. However, Isengard, now having conquered the south side, is going to return north. Those mountain giants focusing on the archers before they can take out the infrastructure here, as more goblins are being flooded out onto the field, and Azog out now as well. These troops are going to have to retreat. A couple of Rohirrim out in the field, not enough to do any significant damage at this time. But with that extra time that Isengard spent at the top, Angmar has had a chance to slightly rebuild. It looks like first he's going to be focusing on rebuilding those heroes. Several Thrallmasters waiting at the front of his base as well, should he choose to use them, and is going to at this time. Throws down, it looks like, a couple of axe throwers, a couple of pikemen. Those do need to meet up with Hawaldir, of course, to gain that leadership bonus. Now, it should be mentioned that Hawaldir's leadership bonus is slightly less powerful than other heroes' leadership bonuses. As you can see there, the 20% damage and 20% armor. Now, considering that against someone like Aragorn's, whose leadership bonus, as you can see here, is the leadership, 50% damage and 50% armor. So Aragorn's there over two times as good as Hawaldir's bonus. So the Gondor troops in battles, of course, would be quite stronger now. Of course, Aragorn not on the opposing side, on the same side. However, it just goes to show you that when you're playing Angmar and you have Hawaldir on the field, yes, the bonus is good, yes, the bonus is helpful, but don't overestimate its ability when fighting against opponents that also have leadership bonus, as yours will not be as powerful and not be as nearly as powerful. Gondor amassing to the north 3 units of fully upgraded archers here, at least fully upgraded in terms of the fire arrows. Does not have the banner, although that's not exactly necessary. Éomer out on the field now as well, hoping to steal a couple of resources once he gets to a higher level. That is going to be the level 2, the outlaw leadership there. In a major battle, focusing on the south-hand side, Lurtz has pinned down Karsh. Is he going to move forward and deal with him? He is at this moment. He has activated Carnage. Lurtz now up to level 6. Going to instead focus on Morgomir, doing a lot of damage. Morgomir going to fall back here. I think focusing down the wrong person there with that Carnage ability. Karsh continuing to fight forward here. Lurtz needs to get back in this battle. He's been hit by some sort of spell here, and is going to start to focus down Karsh. Isengard using an ability there to deforestation. A couple of Rohirrim now moving in from the south side. Lurtz taking a lot of damage, cannot deal with this many heroes by himself. Karsh has taken a lot of damage and will actually fall from all of those archers there, or from the axe throwers, the Wildman axe throwers. However, Éomer will be able to chase Lurtz down, and I think this should be an easy kill for Éomer here, as he will fall, and Éomer grabs a couple levels there. As Men is not, while the men are using this time to help the south, they are not pushing to the north. And at this time, the Goblins have had a chance to incredibly rebuild several Mountain Giants out on the field. Goblins now moving forward. Where is the Goblin King? Is he with this army? The answer is no. Men now moving forward, engaging. That rallying call does go down. Not really necessary with Aragorn there on the leadership bonus, but nevertheless, in case Aragorn falls, that is something to fall back on. Those Giants now going to be focusing on the main army. A couple of hobbits here have been summoned to deal with them. Azog attempting to deal with the hobbits. These hobbits turn around and focus Azog, though the hobbits are incredible at hero killing there, and you can see them beginning to focus down Azog there. But it looks like he is going to escape temporarily. Men continuing to push forward. Isengard deciding that at this time they'd like to help their ally instead of pushing forward. That's going to give Angmar a chance to rebuild yet again. Hwaldir, Morgamir, full health. Where is Karsh? Is he back out on the field? Not yet. Looks like he might be in production here momentarily. And Men now going to move forth. I'd like to see a gathering of forces, a single attack. Both of these teams deciding, except when defending, the team on the right-hand side here doing a good job of collaborating on the defense, but never on the attacks, it seems. As you can see, with Aragorn and his red army pushing forward, of course, commanded by the King. To the north side here, his partner, Angmar, Red Firemad, just waiting here on the south side, should move in instead of just watching and building. Does get a couple of pieces of infrastructure here, a couple of those barracks. But Azog going to be able to take out Aragorn, it looks like, as he has activated that Great Battle Rage. And just trying to decide here, there's so much action going on, what to focus on. Azog actually takes out Boromir instead. Aragorn has time remaining. I'm not actually sure why he has time remaining, as I'm not sure what that's actually all about. I wonder what spell that is. I actually don't know. Finally, Angmar moving into the south now. Saruman is out on the field, but a spell goes down from Angmar to prevent that. And they are going to immediately focus down Saruman here before he can get off any powerful spells. Isengard returning to the south to try and deal with this. To the north, the red army has been defeated. Aragorn getting too close to the Spiderling's pit dies to those. Now we do have a summon going down here. A horde comes in from Angmar. Saruman falls as Morgamir is able to finish him off. Hwaldir survives. Azog getting in the thick of things, taking a little bit too much damage, but Lurtz is back out on the field. He has just revived, and just in time to focus down Morgamir. Morgamir is going to die. Hwaldir takes a swing at Azog in the back. He falls. Now the Coda are moving in. 2 units of Coda, but several Mountain Giants in the back should make short work of those Coda, as they cannot deal with those rocks from afar. Lurtz alive and full health, now up to level 8. These Mountain Giants dealing incredible amounts of damage. Hwaldir throws down a Hillman summon. But is it going to be enough? This Coda taking a lot of damage, and he's going to lose all those units of Coda. That's a ton of money down the drain. Hwaldir now taking too much damage. The Goblin King in the thick of things, level 5. And Goblin King actually gets credit for that kill. It goes up 2 levels. So the Goblin King getting ever more closer to that very powerful level 10 ability. And this battle has somehow gone the way of Isengard and the Goblins here. The Chain and TheChain and Ryu Satsu here able to hold out somehow, some way to basically make this match continue. I don't think that Angmar and Men here were considering that being an option, Redfire Mad. Now he does have the Fortress upgrade here, so he does have an incredibly powerful Ice Blast at his disposal should he choose to use it. As soon as we see one of those forces sort of gather together, I do expect that Ice Blast to go off, at least in defense of the fortress. There just isn't a lot here for Angmar this time. It looks like they're building some siege units, a couple of hill trolls here in the back. A wolf and troll den has finally been thrown up. Meanwhile, men on the top going over to Rohirrim, building additional Gondor soldiers. Definitely do not agree with this move by the king, as Gondor soldiers at this stage in the game are just not going to be worth it. Aragorn back on the field, level 4, Boromir level 6 now. Ton of goblins moving to the center of the field. Needs to watch out for that Icy Blast, though. If he has vision of this, does he have vision of this? It looks like the answer is yes, just barely. Would be a good spot for that Icy Blast. Might need to have full view in order to launch that, though. These mountain giants beginning to work down from afar one of these mills, and with those 3 rocks, that is going to fall. Goblins biding their time. Isengard as well, now building up several of these barracks, throwing in additional barracks down, basically preventing units from traversing through here, or at least making it incredibly difficult. Aemir level 4 moving to the north with several of us for Rohirrim. Again, we're going to see a split attack from these troops. Not sure if that's the best call or not. The Creepin here above the fortress, giving view of all that is happening. Do the goblins know? Can the goblins see this far? The answer is absolutely. They can actually see a ton. So they see completely what's going on here. They see the movement of all the troops, and nothing is hidden here. How are we doing for PowerPoints? Let's just take a quick look. Looks like the goblin player, very diversified tree, not going for those higher ones. Isengard only up to that devastation ability, going for that level 15 watcher, but at what point in the game will he make it there? All these PowerPoints incredibly low. Men looking like they might move up to the level 15 power as well. I believe it is the summoning of archers, or the recall of the Rohirrim. Now, men moving to the north side. Now, this is seen by the goblins. All the forces are going to be moving up there. Azog is in here now up to level 10, and these men troops have a little bit cornered themselves. One group of men getting through here. Aemir leading a group of horsemen. An excellent way to build up some additional power points by taking out several of those mines. A huge battle is going to take place here, but with the mountain giants on the low ground, there's basically no way that men can reach them, and those stones are just going to do devastating amounts of damage to all of these units. It's so hard to tell who is winning this battle, but I believe the goblins basically have this. Aragorn is here. He has activated his Blade Master, but can he find the necessary enemy heroes to use it on? The Goblin King getting a little overzealous there. Boromir taking a lot of damage. He is going to fall from those archers in the back. Additional archers now showing up for men as well. On the lower hand side, Isengard beginning to battle Angmar as well. It looks like Lurtz here working down a couple of the enemy units. Boromir is alive. Rogash now out on the field. Lurtz taking a lot of damage from these hill trolls. He is way up in the front, going to fall back here just in time. Would like to see some upgrades for some of these Isengard troops here. But Angmar Hwaldr taking a ton of damage there, and Lurtz actually alive as well. Saruman alive as well now, 2 up to level 3. Of course, once he gets up to level 4, does gain that Wormtongue ability. Morgamir staying in the battle way too long. He's going to take a ton of axes to the back, literally hundreds, as he is going to decide to stay in this battle. The Gundabad warrior showing up a little too late to save him at this point, and Morgamir will fall. The Gundabad warriors easily dealt with. On the top side, the goblins continuing to push forward. These mountain giants going unattested. Finally, we have a summon of hobbits, but it might be too little too late. The fortress of Fire RedMad here under an incredible amount of strain. He throws out the Icy Blast. Is that enough to actually take out these Mountain Giants? The answer is no. Takes out some of the archers, but that's not really the problem right now. The Mountain Giants are what's dealing the real damage to this fortress, and suddenly this is not looking good at all for Angmar. All his troops were to the south. He lost most of them to Isengard. The Goblin King now up to level 10 as well. 3 fire drakes have been spawned, and this fortress is looking to be in an incredible amount of trouble. The Mountain Giants now changing their focus with that. I see what happened. Angmar used that freeze spell to go ahead and save his own fortress. This cannot produce right now, however, it also cannot take damage. So as that is frozen, for the time being, he will be able to save that. A very clutch move there by Isengard to save his own fortress. Now Drogoth is out on the field though, and this does not bode well for these horsemen who have been in the back here dealing some damage to these mines. However, with Drogoth out on the field, there's basically nothing they can do, as he will just slowly chase them down. We do have the Watcher going down out on the field. That is thrown down by Isengard. It is going to deal a significant amount of damage to a lot of these archers. Rebuild going down by men as well to go ahead and try and keep this fortress going as long as possible. Hwaldir now out on the field, beginning to focus down that fire drake. This fortress still taking a lot of damage. Angmar trying to hold off and hold on as long as he can, but a ton of archers now moving in from the south. These wildmen, axe throwers are proving incredibly useful in this game. Wormtongue, Lurtz, and Saruman now is up to level 3 as well. All moving from the south side here. Angmar looking to be in a lot of trouble. Where are the troops of men to aid his ally? The king not here with the necessary reinforcements. Angmar looking to be in a lot of trouble here. Are there additional mountain giants on the way is what my question is, to deal that critical damage to the fortress here. Although I think Isengard may have enough here to just do it himself. More units streaming in from Isengard, has more axe throwers on the way, as well as a ton of units back at base. Needs to call those to the front line, needs to keep this attack going if possible. Hwaldir is back on the field. That Summon Helmet ability, incredibly useful at this time, as he does get all of those troops on the field to help defend him. And I think with men's troops here from King, this army should survive. Lurtz, oh my gosh, going to die. I think these horsemen can easily chase him down as he runs with basically no health. Yes, he is going to get chased down, and Eomer is going to grab a couple levels from that. Aragorn up to level 6, Boromir at 7, Karsh back out on the field, level 5, Morgomir almost level 8, Rogash only level 2, but Drogoth is going to be dealing a lot of damage. The spear goes down, deals a slight amount of damage to Drogoth as he pretty much just shakes that off, and Eomer taking a lot of damage from that fire blast. However, the goblins have already rebuilt. They're moving through the center once again, and Drogoth is actually returning to base. I'm not really sure exactly why at this time he's coming back, but now actually just returning to his forces, and they are going to move together, forward together. The Goblin King leading the charge does have that call from the deep ability once again, that incredibly powerful ability, and I would like to see that used pretty soon here to basically finish off the game. Meanwhile, back in the base, additional the armory going up now for Isengard, as he is sitting very pretty in terms of resources, in terms of infrastructure, and basically has spare money at this point, spare troops as well. Needs to gather some of these troops and push forward. Is sitting at the back of his base right now. Drogoth moving to the north-hand side, taking out a couple of stray pieces of infrastructure. A fountain of men here, and a mill of Angmar there, and is going to get a very good hit on some of these horses. Up to level 2, has that fireball ability should he choose to use it. We do have the call from the deep going down, is going to retreat as several more fire archers are moving in, but I think with these fire drakes in the field, the troops here of men are in a lot of trouble, as they just do not have the necessary units to deal with these. Boromir throws down the horn, but that's not really going to be effective against these fire drakes, as almost all of the troops here are burned to a crisp. The archers finally showing up in the back to begin working down these fire drakes, but too little too late. He's lost almost all of his units at this point, and the goblin's still alive here in the back. That horn has gone down. The fireball here hitting a ton of archers square in the face. Drogoth now feels confident to engage the remainder of those archers with only a few of them on the field. Aragorn does grab an additional level, but Azog is in the battlefield as well with that Great Battle Rage. Aragorn taking a lot of, or going to be taking a lot of damage shortly here. Drogoth still reigning supreme from the skies. On the south side, Isengard defeating a measly Angmar force here, pushing him back as there's a ton of Angmar heroes out on the field. You can see that here that the Angmar player not going for that Witch King, as he is pretty much one of the worst heroes in the game, at least in my opinion. But nevertheless, our Angmar player here agreeing with me, deciding not to go for the Witch King. It could be a money issue, but more likely it is a performance issue. Now the goblins here regathering on the north side. Would like to see them upgraded. These goblins are actually level 4, playing incredibly efficient. Does the goblin player have that upgrade building on the field? I don't see it. I'm not quite sure. Was it the Fisher? No, it is it's the Treasury. The Goblin Treasury, I don't believe it's on the field anywhere. It looks like he's just focusing on building more mines, though. Would like to see him upgrade some of these troops, get those bonuses, get those upgrades going with the bonus that he receives from the Goblin King. Now the Goblins moving in from the north side. Finally, we have a somewhat coordinated attack as Isengard moving in from the south as well. A couple of Angmar Dark Rangers out, dealing a lot of damage with those frost arrows. For now, focusing down Morgamir. And it looks like Angmar are going to be focused here on the south. It is going to be up to Goblins to push forward to deal with this fortress themselves. And this game turning back in favor, I feel like, of Men here, as he has a ton of units out on the field. The Mountain Giant goes down. I think he has enough here to deal with this and survive, although a summon goes down. Is there actually enough goblins here? The Tainted Land bonus goes down as well. What do we have in terms of powers? The Summon Watcher ability is available to Isengard should he need it. Additional powers, the Frozen, the Ranger's ability is also available. Here comes the Fire Drakes as well. And we do have the ground shaking as the Balrog is summoned by our Goblin player. Where is that Balrog is the question. As I can see my screen shaking, here it is to the south, is going to throw all of those Dark Rangers to their doom, and the Balrog now out on the field uses that freeze ability, I think, to save his fortress here, but everything else is basically finished. The Balrog here going to begin working down several of these buildings as soon as he's ready. Drogoth taking a lot of damage from those fire archers, but the problem now is the Mountain Giants in the back. It is how to deal with this Balrog, as he's going to begin to engage these hill trolls. This should be an interesting battle. Karsh beginning to focus him down as well. And the Balrog takes one swing, and away goes Karsh. Away goes about half the hill trolls. Here goes the other half, as he takes a very nice shot there. These Ice Dark Rangers doing a lot of damage to him, though, as he is cold is super effective against him, and actually going to be able to kill the Balrog here, dealing minimal damage. Karth goes up to level 10. The Balrog falls. And are they actually going to be able to hold on here? The Ice Blast goes down. That's going to kill an additional, all the additional units of goblins that are here. A Fire Drake survives, but Aragorn and Éomer Éomer going to die to that Fire Drake, I believe. Yeah, he is. Aragorn can take it out should he need to. But for now, he's just going to chase down the Mountain Giant instead, as that is going to be what he wants to deal with. Aragorn, 8.5. As soon as he gets to level 10, that Oathbreaker's ability does become available to him. Now, the Watcher is still available. The Rangers as well. The Worm as well is available as Isengard moves in from the south side. That Ranger ability finally being used to go ahead and play a little more defense. Saruman dealing with some of those Rangers, but Karth falls to Lurtz, and Lurtz dealing a lot of damage right now. Lurtz is up in the front here. We do have Saruman now up to level 8. Can use that Wormtongue ability on any troops that he decides to. We'll see if he activates that shortly here. Is starting to take a lot of damage. Needs to use that if he's going to soon. But instead decides to retreat. Would have liked to see if he could use that ability to at least kill some of these troops, turn them against each other, and they are going to get chased down now. Will finally use that Wormtongue ability, will temporarily gain control of one of these units over here. That should be enough to at least secure him escape. Lurtz at least does get out of there alive. These Rohirrim are chasing him down, does not have anything available to him. These Rohirrim are going to charge right into a ton of pikemen though, and I don't know, Saruman is going to make it out alive just in time, it looks like. Those Rohirrim falling quickly. But the main force on the map right now is going to be these goblins. Tons of mountain giants, 3 mountain giants on the field. Azog, almost full health. The Goblin King in here as well, as you can tell from that leadership bonus on some of those units. More mountain giants on the way. This is looking to be an incredibly powerful push coming from the goblins here, as well as the Watcher that is still available. Could go down here at this time. A couple of units in the back here that it could also be used on. It looks like he's just going to hold on to that Watcher for now. Drogoth moving in with a fireball attack. Instantly takes out, instantly damages the Trebuchet. Does not have enough to take it out. But men getting up to level 25 power. The Oathbreakers are summoned. That 25 power. Army of the Dead rather than Oathbreakers for the power. And all of these Goblin units instantly decimated. Now, the Army of the Dead, incredibly useful at taking out troops, but incredibly terrible at taking out buildings. So we should see most of these structures survive, and this is going to be an issue of rebuilding the army rather than rebuilding the infrastructure and then rebuilding the army. The Mountain Giants quickly fall. The time remaining is running short. Units continuing to run away from that Army of the Dead. And suddenly, this is actually looking pretty decent for our left-hand side here. For our left-hand-sided team here, Redfire Mad and the King. Aragorn moving up very closely, beginning to take down that fortress. The Army of the Dead, they're able to deal with the Spiderlings, at least temporarily, but now that they're gone, the fortress should be able to be protected. Drogoth going to bring down his full weight on Aragorn. Aragorn taking a lot of damage and will indeed fall. I think that was a little bit of a silly sacrifice, as this fortress should remain just fine. Boromir falls as well there. They really got minimal damage, about a third or a fourth of the health of the fortress. For 2 of your heroes and all your troops, not really worth it. And now this army is looking to be incredibly powerful. The Wormout as well, working down Morgamir, but I think they have enough here to take it out. Actually, those archers in the back dealing an incredible amount of damage to that worm does fall. But Saruman now moving forward. Rogash in trouble, taking a lot of damage. Dark Rangers trying to reinforce from the south. The Gundabad Warrior summon goes down. But I think Rogash is going to fall here. Lurtz moves in as well. One shot from Lurtz and Rogash falls. Waldir going to die as well, as these Berserkers deal an incredible amount of damage. Morgamir in a lot of trouble as well. The left-hand side team suddenly losing their composure, losing a ton of their troops, trying to chase down Saruman. That's not going to work. Uruk Deathbringers down on the field as well. The Deathbringers, very powerful, especially against buildings. Units as well, though, they're just all around a very great unit. Would like to see those get up close and personal with this fortress, if they can get close enough. More units being pumped back out onto the field from the left-hand side here. A couple of Hill Trolls, Dark Rangers scattered about. Heroes now returning to the field as well. This army is slowly rebuilding. On the north side, Drogoth able to deal with some of these horsemen, or at least trying to. Miss that shot there, though. More Goblin Archers now out on the field as well. Finally, some upgrades have been purchased here for Isengard. Can begin to upgrade those troops should he need to. And yes, as you can see here, they are being the upgrades have been purchased. The heavy armor about to be equipped there to those units, and suddenly this army is looking to be incredibly scary. Sees the units, throws down the Watcher. A surprise attack from Ryosatsu. Angmar throws down a Whirlwind to hold off the attack. Does he have the tower available to him? The answer is yes. He can fire the Witch King's Sanctum's, Winter Wrath here. And this would be the perfect place to throw it down. Karsh getting thrown back by the Watcher is going to be in the thick of things and immediately is going to fall from those pikemen and those fire archers. Tom Bombadil summon. A heal goes down, but it's not enough. Karsh able to blink away at the last second, though, survives that attack. Men's units here in the back. Does our Goblin player, though, have something to add to the battle? I think he has the Watcher as well and can throw it down as soon as he's ready. The Goblins moving in from the north. There's 4 Mountain Giants. This fortress looking to be in trouble. Rogash needs to get to level 4 so he can use that jump leap. Drogoth now moving in, though, is going to try and keep him from getting to level 4. The Goblin King throws down the Fire Drakes. Tom Bombadil quickly dealing with the Isengard forces to the south. It's going to be up to the Goblins now to continue this push forward. Azog able to take out Rogash here. Would like to see the Watcher thrown down right here, right now, from our Goblin player, but instead he's going to use Drogoth to throw down the Fireball. We do have the Fire Drakes as well, one going down, but with that much fire, these units are all completely roasted. And most importantly, the 4 Mountain Giants remain alive. Now, Hobbits have been summoned. Are they going to be able to deal damage quickly enough, though, to actually take out these Mountain Giants? I think the answer is yes, as one is going to fall there pretty quickly. Aragorn still alive. Azog in here as well. As actually it looks like as Azog may have fallen, as there's no one inside that glowing red circle. Now, but Lurtz is still alive from the south, is going to start to focus down Aragorn. But Aragorn with that Blade Master deals an incredible amount of damage. There's the Witch King Sanctum firing, and Lurtz going to fall to Aragorn. Aemir in there as well. Saruman falls. Karsh back out on the field, and once again, the defense of these players is insurmountable. Neither team seeming to be able to win here, as this game is going to go on, it looks like, for quite some time. Guys, I was not prepared for this long and epic of a match. Drogoth finally going to fall, explodes there into several pieces. These couple of Mountain Giants continuing to survive, though. Karsh now going to begin to engage them. Samwise Gamgee as well, somehow surviving that fight, as he does chase down that Mountain Giant with Karsh, an unlikely duo, to say the least. Now, as this game continues, the question becomes, what do players need to do in order to claim victory on these fields of justice? That is the question, the burning question that we're all asking. Isengard's answer is to do the same thing that they've always done, and that is going to be pump out more units. Those axe throwers, couple of flame archers now out on the field as well. More Mountain Giants for the Goblins. Going to start to take out Sam here, as he cannot deal. Actually begins to chase away this entire army. Is going to capture this for himself. Seems to be pretty happy about that. Of course, yeah, that didn't last long, as he takes a rock and about 20 arrows to the face there. Does not manage to survive that. One fat hobbit versus 3 large boulders and 20 arrows does not a good story make. Men once again building up some defense, going for some more Rohirrim this time. And our men player, TheKing, still going for these very cheap Rohan Spearmen. Would like to see him upgrade and get, if he's going to get Spearmen, at least get the Gondor Tower Guards. Now the Watcher goes down here in the center. A great play by Isengard. Is going to lose the Watcher, but dealt a significant amount of damage that I feel like that might be worth it. With the weakened forces is moving in from the north, while Isengard pushes in from the south. This force is starting to look really scary, and this may be the final stand for both teams. There isn't a lot left here. I mean, Men has heroes on the field, Where are Angmar's heroes, though? He has the Dark Rangers. Karsh getting caught there by Lurth. Looks like he had to blink back. But here comes the Balrog again, and there goes the army of men. As Balrog from the deep emerges, and he does not look happy as he is going to begin to scope out this fortress. Now the ice fortress here dealing a lot of damage. You can see every shot dealing a pretty significant amount to that Balrog, as that ice damage does very much hurt him. Aragorn going to focus him down as well, and this Balrog, not being very efficient, needs to focus on these units right away. Finally gets a hit off, but at this point it's too little too late. There's a ton of units from the south here, though, continuing to move forward. Angmar attempting to stun them for as long as possible. The Balrog going to fall, gets off a flame attack just barely, takes out a couple of those units. Where are the mountain giants? Here they are. Aragorn beginning to work them down, but this fortress is under siege, at least from one of the giants. Gets another rock in there at the last second. Isengard still looking pretty strong from the south. A couple of goblins in the north. The Goblin King pushing forward, throws down that summon of the Fire Drake. Karsh not really in the battle. Angmar does not have a lot here. Heavy rain begins to fall, as this does not look good for the troops of men in Angmar. These units trying to hold out as long as they can. Dark Ranger shots go down, but the upgraded Isengard troops are too powerful. Karsh falls in the middle of that battle. Wormtongue is alive in this battle here. Saruman as well. Drogoth now returning to the fields of battle and pushes forward here. This fortress, I think, is in a little bit of danger. Aragorn moves to the south, but a couple of goblins had gotten to the back. Some of the infrastructure beginning to fall, and I think this is the move that one of the teams had to make, is going for some of that infrastructure, preventing the reinforcements, going for some of those resources. If you can't take down the fortress, weaken him, find the chinks in the armor where you can do damage, and if you can take out some of these buildings, especially this archery range. He has two rangers queued up, but that's not going to happen, as this Fire Drake, I think, can take this out. No, the Fire Drake actually times out, does manage to take out that Dark Iron Forge. But Aragorn here still taking a lot of damage from Azog here, or from some of these wolves. It is going to be from Azog, I guess, as he does manage to take him out there. But Azog cannot deal with the wolf kennels, and he is going to fall here, but significant damage has been dealt, I feel like. A couple more rangers coming out. Rogash, the troll of the north, managing to make his way back onto the field. Up to level 4. Should serve well if a large goblin attack returns. However, some of these Isengard troops still alive. Arrow drop goes down. The siege works, I think, will survive, albeit temporarily. What else do we have coming soon onto the field? Redfire Mad almost to level 25. Would like to see that wolf out on the field. Army of the Dead now once again available. The Balrog beginning that regeneration, as these players are now getting into the ridiculous sort of this game where the power spam just becomes basically unmanageable. It's just going to take one good surprise battle here, and the men might lose an additional barracks here. Army of the Dead might be summoned here to hold off this huge goblin attack, as they're actually just going to think about attacking this building and not actually destroy it. Fireball there, able to take out several of those archers. More mountain giants coming in. Rogash, there goes the power slam to take out majority of those goblins. Can these mountain giants work down the fortress? I feel like they should be focusing down the fortress. I feel like he should throw everything he has at taking down that fortress. Meanwhile, men making a counterattack through the middle. And Isengard is actually going to move in from the south, ignoring the counterattack, at least for now. The mountain giants now focusing on, it looks like, the fort. Well, one of them is focusing on the fortress. That fortress has so much health now that it's been upgraded, though. This barracks over here looks like is being focused The Goblin King has his ability to summon if he gets it. Now, we do have a Summon Dragon going down, but there's so much action going on. A huge Ice Blast to the north. Several of those units are going to be stunned. No, actually, that really didn't kill that much. This is going to fall for sure. The Dragon now out in the field begins to deal with Waldir, and he cannot survive that Dragon. More Mountain Giants showing up. Men making a huge counterattack, though. Army of the Dead is summoned to deal with these Spiderlings. This base looking to be in a little bit of trouble with the Fire Archers in the back. It is going to start to take a lot of damage. Rally Call goes down. Aragorn joins the fight now as well. Boromir here as well. Would like to see these fire pits get just destroyed. Drogoth returns to help, but at the same time, the army continues to march forward on the other side, and this spell is not going to last forever, and it just now actually goes up. The Fortress of Angmar is now vulnerable. The Wolf Summon goes down in an attempt to protect from the south side. Looks like I missed a pretty epic battle here with the troops of Isengard. It has lost most of them, but Lurtz remains. Morgamir taking a lot of damage. Lurtz gets a final hit on him there from the south, or from his north side, or irregardless. Lurtz now working down Rogash. So much action going down all around the field. The Fire Drakes now summon as well. This fortress under siege from three giants here. The dragon leads to the north. On the right-hand side, we do have Earthquake going down from men. Is it going to be enough to actually take out the fortress? Even so, Aragorn continuing to work this down. Aemir here as well. The fortress of the goblins falls, but at the same time, the fortress of Angmar not looking good. This game is incredibly close here as we get to the final minutes of this game. The wolf smacks Saruman in the face. He falls over. Rogash alive for now as he gets leveled there by his own troop. The fortress of Angmar does fall. What does Angmar have left, though? The wolf and troll den to the north. Does he have a builder, though? That's the question, and the same goes for the goblin. Drogoth is alive out in the field. The Oathbreakers here has been summoned by Aragorn, but Aragorn started to take a lot of damage. And Drogoth taking a lot of damage, too. Does not want to lose Drogoth here. Cannot rebuild him at this time. And I think with all of the arrows here, this might actually survive, at least for now. On the right-hand side, these troops basically stunned as back home. Oh no, Drogoth falls as he dive bombs himself into the Oathbreakers there at the end. And Drogoth will not be back on the field anytime soon. More Isengard troops alive. There is still a couple of mountain giants alive on the field. Needs to focus this down. Is this the last building of Angmar? Angmar does have a builder left. He does have a builder left, so he can survive, assuming he built something before this building falls. But men is it looking to be in trouble. They need to recall they have nothing to deal with these mountain giants. Finally, Aragorn returns, but is it too late? A couple of level 1 archers out on the field. He's low on funds. Those archers all go down almost immediately, though. Aragorn beginning to work down these mountain giants. The hill troll here, the hill troll den, or the wolf and troll den, taking a lot of damage. It could potentially fall. The fortress is being rebuilt for Angmar. What about goblins, though? The question is, does he have a builder? Yes, he does. And he also has sufficient money to go ahead and start rebuilding that fortress. Of course, the Powers menu not available to those players who do not have their fortress, have a fortress out on the field. Boromir finally making a return, but more goblins flooding across the field. Almost 4,000, almost 5,000 resources for Ryusatsu. Only 1,300 for Angmar. Men sitting at about 34k, and the goblins at 17. So all players sitting on the lower side. Ryusatsu really with the most as he continues to pump out troops of Isengard. Rogash doing a nice leap attack there, almost up to level 6. Needs to get to level 8 to get that rage ability. Finally, we have more Rangers back out on the field. Aragorn starting to get healthier as he has regained some of his health there. Boromir still pretty strong as well. These troops of Isengard I don't think are going to be able to survive. However, more reinforcements now arriving, and the pressure is on here for the team on the left-hand side. That fortress is being rebuilt. Needs to get that back up, so at least he has the power menu back to him and has that builder available to him. But men going to lose one of the farms here. This is actually a pretty big loss of a level 3 farm here this late in the game. Already pushed so far back. Now there is a couple of hobbits that were summoned on the other side, but this is just not going to be enough to take down a fully building fortress. Tom Bombadil going down as well. He is trying to take out the goblins here, but I'm not sure this is how to do it. Although actually he's dealing quite a bit of damage here to the fortress. Arrow drop goes down to try and save these hobbits, and I think this fortress actually is in a little bit of trouble. So the Watcher goes down by Isengard to go ahead and try and keep this fortress going as long as possible. Tom Bombadil going to be able to survive on the left-hand side. The Angmar fortress stands. However, the men's fortress also is looking to be in decent shape. The archery range may go down here as well. Let's take a look at this fortress. Looks like it is going to barely survive here, as that did complete. And I think that will be able to survive the Goblin Builder running into one of the mines here at the last second. Tom Bombadil will finally fall, and the Goblins are going to be safe here temporarily at least. More Mountain Giants moving forward, focusing down that Angmar fortress. The Angmar player looking to be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have a lot of options, and he doesn't have a lot of money. More Isengard troops now showing up from Ryu Satsu, and I think this fortress is in a lot of trouble. Desperately throws down a free spell to try and hold on as long as possible. But that's only going to make the men's fortress a much juicier target, and our men player, the King, does not have enough units on the field, throwing down the Oathbreakers as a desperation summon here to try and hold off these forces. But will it actually be enough to push back all of these troops? Maybe. These Oathbreakers are pretty strong, but they don't last for too terrible long, and actually Earth Deathbringers in here as well. These troops getting wrecked by Wormtongue and the Uruk Berserker, and we probably almost have the Balrog back on the field at this point. About halfway there. The Watcher going to be up soon. These players basically reaching the ends of their skill trees. Everything available to them. Ryu Satsu has another 25, or has a first 25 he can use, and it is going to be the Dragon Strike he chooses. When is he going to use it? He chooses now, and here comes the Dragon in for the Dragon Strike. Finally getting up to that level 25 as Ryu Satsu throws down the Fire Blast on the fortress here. Deals a significant amount of damage to it, as this fortress looking to be in a lot of trouble, trying to throw some upgrades down. The rebuild goes down by men, as this is getting pretty intense as these players try desperately to hold on. The Dragon Strike has ended, but units of Isengard still linger across the fields of men and Angmar. And I don't even know if he has a builder on the field. He's going to recruit one now, but at this point, too little too late. More infrastructure goes down for men. He only has a few mines now on the field, a couple in his base, one out here, but really he's not producing anywhere near the amount of resources that the enemy is producing. And Lurtz, Saruman, all of these units back out on the field. The Goblin Fortress is alive, not well, but alive, and that's going to give those powers, of course, regeneration abilities. As the Goblin King now returning to the field, the Worm about to be awakened, the Watcher available, Spiderlings, Bats, basically everything, and the Balrog is only moments from being away. I can't help but think that this game is going to belong to the Goblins here and to Isengard. Drogoth does get back on the field. A lightning strike goes down here from Isengard as he attempts to defend this fortress. However, it's not really going to matter. I think at this point, those were here trying to take down the fortress. I don't even know if they have enough to do that. Here comes the Worm. It is going to begin to focus down some of these this wall hub of Fire and Mab as he's trying to save his builder from certain doom. Isengard pushing forward. The heroes of men not able to stand up. Rogash joining the battle, but I'm not even sure that's going to be sufficient in order to hold off this many troops. The Rohirrim do manage to take out the fortress. That is a light in the sea of darkness here for the team on the left. The Worm, can he focus down the builder? Actually goes for the single direwolf running around the outside here. Kind of ridiculous. Does not get that builder, but Isengard moving forward. Drogoth joining the battle as well. Boromir taking a lot of damage. Aragorn does join the battle. The Goblin King needs to use his Call from the Deep ability before he dies. Finally gets it off there. But we get the Oathbringers from Aragorn. And they're once again going to be able to defend a little bit longer. But I think the proverbial nail in the coffin has already been sealed by how much infrastructure this team has lost. Is basically just the King trying to hold on here. I mean, yes, Rogash is out on the field, but that's about it in terms of the troops for men. Now, and the Goblin player actually has 2 builders remaining, so he's not short in terms of builders. He has additional barracks on the field as well. Ryosatsu sitting with a ton of money. The Goblin player actually at, look at this, over 11,000 and just went down to 7 or 6 or 7, so we do know that fortress is back on the way. Where has he decided to build it is the question. Could even do something crazy like build it very up front as a sort of, not necessarily a mocking, but rather as a point of attack, a forward point of attack. Now the Angmar Fortress does survive for now. I actually cannot find where that Goblin Fortress is going up. Not that it matters that much, but would be nice to know if I can find it. We do have a beacon going down. The King has actually spotted it. And Earthquake goes down by the King in an attempt to destroy that fortress before it's built. This is a valiant effort by the King. Actually takes out one of those builders. And did he actually take out the other builder? The answer is no. The other builder is still alive here. Very sneakily and excellently played. Oh, but Tom Bombadil goes down. The builder turns around at the last second. The archers go, the call goes down, and the builder actually gets caught. The Goblin final builder has been killed, and the Goblins unable to rebuild their fortress. So the King here majorly bringing this back in an incredible way, able to somehow, some way create a lot of trouble here for the Goblin player. Now he does still have enough buildings out on the field to begin producing units. And Angmar summoning some Gundabad warriors in the back. Of course, Angmar has that fortress, despite not having resources, despite not having heroes, does have those powers that are now available to him. And the Goblin player, of course, does not. Of course, he does have the ability to build units. However, should he lose these critical structures, he will be completely out of the game. Isengard sitting okay for now, has a ton of resources, building troops out on the field, pushing forward with several Deathbringers, Berserkers, Saruman, and Wormtongue. This building is in trouble. Aragorn and Boromir are returning to help deal with this. We do have a summon going down somewhere on the field. It is going to be a Watcher here in the back to deal with a couple of stray units, it looks like, from Isengard. The Goblins working down some more caves of the Gundabad warriors of Angmar, working down a couple more buildings of the Goblins to try and finish them off. But Aragorn here, getting a little ahead of himself, is going to be taking a lot of damage. Needs to summon Oathbringers before he dies. Taking a lot of damage here. Needs to throw down that Oathbringer summon. Does manage to get it off right here in the middle of all of these troops. And as soon as those come out, all of Isengard's troops turn tail and run. Did lose a lot of those buildings to the north. This band of bandits running around, destroying what little remain of the infrastructure of men. The Oathbringers here easily dealing with all of these units. Goblins sitting in the back waiting, but several archers now showing, Dunedain Rangers showing up for men are going to start to work down some of these mountain giants as they will run away from those Oathbreakers. However, this group has gone unnoticed as for now and is getting incredibly close to this main castle. Can begin to focus that down shortly if he chooses to. Is instead going to go for the stable. Rohirrim not going to be able to make it out. The stable is going to fall, I believe. As this is not looking good for men. He's losing more and more buildings and is basically now working off of one archery range and a fortress. I mean, how much more in trouble can you get? The only hope that they have that I can see at this point is basically taking out the goblins' infrastructure, but I'm not sure he has the spells and the ability to do it. Now, we do have the Shade of Wolf available. He might be saving that, however, for defense, although I think he needs to use that for offense at this time. Although here comes the forces of the goblins going to begin to start to work down that fortress. Throws down the cold freeze there, though. The icy blast comes off, takes out a couple units of goblins, hits that giant right on the head, and he falls over. Actually killing a lot of his goblin friends there. Pretty good. Isengard moving in from the north, though. Men in trouble. Drogoth aiding in this battle. Saruman calling down that thunderbolt as well. And the men's fortress is in trouble. Does not have the necessary troops here to defend this. And while Angmar would be holding down in the south against Angmar, against the goblins. Oh, sorry guys, my phone's going off there. As Angmar is holding off against Isengard in the bottom, to the north, Men is not looking to be nearly as lucky. A couple of units out. We do actually have the fortress here activating defenses. Some of those burning caskets, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Aemir here in trouble. Gandalf now at as well, level 2. But the archery range is going to go down. Men in a ton of trouble. Rohirrim being summoned. Several mountain giants. Several mountain giants taking a lot of damage from those Rohirrim. Angmar desperately trying to hold on, throwing down that whirlwind to aid his ally here. But I think this battle is just too far uphill. Gandalf gets to level 3. Saruman's still in here, level 10. Is there going to be enough? The wolf, the Shade of Wolf, comes out of nowhere, able to deal with these mountain giants. The fortress of Angmar taking significant damage. Saruman falls, and somehow, someway, these guys are holding on to the very last man. There's the summon wolf ability as he deals with a lot of those troops quite easily. The Shade of Wolf dealing a lot of damage here, pushing back this attack. Drogoth re-engaging. This is not the right choice. Shade of Wolf throws down the Dark Lord's Lament, freezing all of those surrounding enemies. Has a ton of health yet. It is going to continue to move forward, taking out more and more mountain giants. 3 mountain giants get thrown back in one hit. As that Shade of Wolf continues to attack there. Looks like a Dragon Strike on the Fortress of Men here. And several Isengard units. Is it going to be enough to actually finish this fortress off? I don't think so. This dragon is going to actually die here. The fortress will survive. Might have a rebuild as well. But more forces now streaming across the front. Even with this Shade of Wolf constantly doing battle, there's just not enough firepower here to stop the endless stream. And like I was afraid, even without the fortress, this stream of goblins across the map, the powers will eventually run out. The funds will eventually be extinguished. And the hopes of Men and Angmar alike will be will be snuffed out as the Goblin hordes continue to push forward. The powers of Isengard continue to be strong as the furnaces burn and the Uruks are built, grown, and pushed off across the field, armed to the teeth, in a full armor, in full weaponry. Axemen from the wild called forth as well. Goblins moving forward. They know this is the end. The beacon goes down by Ryosatsu saying, hey, forget about Angmar's fortress. The men fortress is almost destroyed. Focus on that instead. As without the men's fortress, you aren't going to have stuff to worry about like Army of the Dead. Can the Giants get in range to throw a couple of rocks here? Several summons are going down, but too many Mountain Giants are in range. The rocks start to fly. Drogoth shows up as well, and a few more rock throws is going to pretty much do it. Drogoth might be able to actually finish this off. Hits it once, needs to come back for a second swing before that arrow tower finishes off. Does he have the rebuild? I don't think so. And with that hit, the fortress will indeed crumble. A little bit of a lag there from the game as that fortress didn't crumble very well. But nevertheless, men's fortress has finally fallen. And with that, I believe the hopes of his Angmar ally, as without the Army of the Dead support, these attacks are just going to overrun and overwhelm Angmar. The fortress attempting to be rebuilt here. It's just not going to be enough. How much money does men even have? Ryosatsu sitting at 36,000. Redfire Mad at about 3K. And the King only at 1,700. No chance of rebuilding the fortress. No chance of pumping out any useful units at this point. He's lost most of his troops. I mean, he has Gandalf at level 5. But at this point, that's hardly going to be sufficient to hold off this endless stream of units. Drogoth returning to the battlefield, throwing down a good measure. Firebolt needs to focus down this human builder if he can find him. The Isengard troops continue to push forward. Karth, I don't actually know if he can deal with this many upgraded units. It looks like actually yes. Even against these upgraded units, Karth does fare decently well. So he will hold on for now. Morgamir back out on the field finally. It's been a while since we've seen him. Hwaldir as well, but it's just not enough. It's just absolutely no way, and we're just going to kind of jump forward here to the final falling of the Angmar fortress. I mean, we've come this far. Heck, why not see it through? Saruman actually coerces Gandalf, as Gandalf has now joined the forces of Isengard. As he has listened to his old master and has come to learn the ways of the Dark Lord. Gandalf, the fortress here being rebuilt. That's not going to happen, though. Mountain Giants, too powerful. The Angmar fortress freeze goes down once again, just as an annoyance at this point. As well, this game has been pretty epic. The game is pretty surely over. There goes Karsh. He cannot withstand that attack from Drogoth, who is almost up to level 10 himself. The summons go down from from Isengard, and the goblins in Isengard are going to go ahead and take this match. So congratulations on a very hard and very long fought battle from Ryosatsu, our Isengard player, and his partner, TheChain, the goblin player. Valiant effort by Redfire Mad and by our human player, TheKing, holding off as long as they could, but in the end, it was not enough. In the end, the enemy forces of Isengard and the goblins prevailed. and the hopes and dreams of Men in Angmar were completely extinguished here. And as we watch these final buildings fall, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this incredibly long and pretty epic match. Even despite being on 2.01, game went on for quite a long time. This is the sort of games that you do expect sometimes out of the 2.01 patch. But it's always fun to see these long, hard-fought matches, back and forth. Never sure who's going to win, and it's good to see all of the powers being used and utilized so action-packed. When 4 players have all reached the 25 power stage, and you just have Balrogs and Shades of Wolves and Watchers and Dragon Strikes going around everywhere. As we will wait a little bit longer here and jump forward to the ending of this game, as these guys want to push it out as long as humanly possible and drag this on. Army of the Dead being summoned here to protect the fortress as long as possible. We do actually have Tom Bombadil taking out a couple units, or a couple mines of the goblins. Once again, the players are trying to take out the goblin player, which is the right move, but even if he takes him out, then he has to take out all of Isengard. And our Isengard player here basically decided to go take a nap, I think. As his forces have not been moving for some time, there he finally goes. Shade of Wolf is actually summoned here towards the end. And the goblins are actually looking to be in a little bit of trouble. This is not possible that they're going to come back from this, right? This is not... There's absolutely no way that they are going to go ahead and come back from this. As the goblin player losing a couple more of his mines. And this freeze goes down. This Shade of Wolf is actually going to be able to take this out. Is there additional summons available? All units are attacking him. He's actually might die of from all the arrows and rocks being thrown at him here, and he is going to fall. The Rohirrim being summoned, Rangers as well. This is a huge attack going on, but Drogoth has joined the battle. Drogoth actually falls. Is there actually enough damage here to finish off the goblin player? I don't know if there is. A huge summon goes down in the back, though, or a ton of wildmen here. The men's fortress is in trouble. More Isengard troops now showing up, and I think this is all he has left. I think if Men loses this fortress, he is going to fall, and his troops are the only ones remaining over here. The goblin player losing additional building, has only 2 buildings left. A rebuild actually goes down. Somehow this fortress is still alive. An additional building of the goblins called of the Goblins falls. The goblins now only have 2 buildings remaining. Forgot about this one up here. The Rohirrim are still alive. They have time remaining. Are beginning to focus that down. Is there enough Isengard troops to actually take out this fortress, though? As this game has somehow, someway gotten exciting once again. The Rohirrim still alive as they continue to attack this mine. But I think the Goblin's going to be able to survive for now. Just barely. The Rohirrim are not going to be able to get out. Sharku finally making his way out into the field as well. And with that, the fortress, or the remaining buildings of the Goblins survive. Saruman over here falls. The fortress here, the builder now is coming out for Men. as this game continues to rage on. The Isengard Fortress still sitting very pretty. The forces moving forward here. And did I actually call this game too early here? The length of this game is actually insane, guys. I do not even know how long I've been casting for. This game continues to proceed. Tom Bombadil now being summoned. The Ice Blast goes down. There goes all of Isengard's troop once again. And suddenly, this is not looking good. Although a sneak attack around here from all of these units on the top side. This builder is basically toast. So he's not going to be able to survive. The fortress is down here, I think, in trouble. Actually, I don't know why he's retreating here. Because of Tom Bombadil? I don't know if that's the right move. Do we have any upcoming powers for these players? The Gundabad warriors, the orcs, in a little bit, might be sufficient to take out those troops. The hobbits does have hobbits available to him. And what about the rangers? About halfway. Needs a powerful unit to go ahead and take out these final buildings of the goblins. Only 2 buildings remaining for those goblins. But these mountain giants are... the hobbits have been summoned back at home, actually, to deal with the mountain giants instead. Rebuild goes down. Going to lose additional couple of mines here. Urk Deathbringer still alive in the midst of all of this. These mountain giants fleeing because he knows he cannot reproduce them. He does not have the necessary infrastructure to go ahead and reproduce these mountain giants, so he's trying to be very careful with them. More Rudar spearmen here moving forward. I believe these are stolen by Saruman or summoned from somebody. Aragorn now back out on the field once again, and the goblins were going to have to retreat as this fortress is basically impenetrable. A huge group of Isengard now moving back forward. The goblins need to turn back around and re-engage here, but they're scared of the Oathbringers. As we will go ahead and jump forward here a little bit. The Oathbringers catching wind of some of these Isengard troops. Going to lose a lot of them to that army of the dead. But on the north side, the goblins now re-engaging. Isengard re-engaging from the south, as they will move once again towards these fortresses and attempt to take them out. The human builder here seeming to be in a lot of trouble. Rally call goes down. That's what you want to see, as he is basically just going to ignore everything else and focus on the fortress. Freeze goes down, but did it actually catch this fortress? The units are fleeing, but that is because of what Aragorn just did, his power. More goblins to the north. The mountain giants beginning to focus down some of these units. Waldir falls. Aemir makes his way back onto the field, but he's run into a ton of pikemen. And this battle is still going on. This is insane. As all these goblin troops now overrunning the camp of Angmar. I think he does not have the freeze available to him anymore. These hill giant, or these mountain trolls finally taking doing a sufficient damage from the north. Does he have a summon? The answer is no, as these warriors have been summoned. Actually, these warriors have been summoned by Angmar as he's trying to make a last-ditch effort to take out the goblins. But there is an additional mine here up on top, or additional barracks, and at this point, Angmar, he needs to take out that mine before this fortress falls. If he's able to take this out, he can survive. The Gundabad warriors, I'm not sure they know that it's there. A beak has been placed by the king, but I think that the defenses here are too great. And Angmar here looking to be in a lot of trouble. The Watcher goes down to stop the Rohirrim. The Rohirrim have been summoned in the wrong place. The Rohirrim should have been summoned up here by this Goblin Cave instead. But the Fortress of the King goes down. The King has been defeated. And the final Fortress of Redfire Mad has gone down. And finally, this game comes to a conclusion. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. I need to go drink a gallon of water as my voice is incredibly hoarse as I've been talking for probably over an hour straight now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. And I'll see you guys next time.